What's going on, everybody, and welcome back. Welcome back to another edition of the Hangout Spot Live. It's your boy Johnny, and I am your host. We are live and direct here from the Man Cave, and we got another banger for you today, man. Another great show. We had hella boxing this weekend, and I want to break down those fights. So today I actually have a special guest. I have undefeated Super Featherweight title contender Albert Prince Bell. He's 26-0, 9 KOs. And if you've seen my channel, you've seen that I have actually interviewed him in the past. He's a great young man, super talented, and he's just waiting for a title opportunity. And one of the main events he definitely had an invested interest in this weekend, and that was the Emmanuel Navarrete, Oscar Valdez rematch. So I wanted to bring him on. I thought it was a great time for him to kind of touch on that. Plus, he's a big boxing fan, man. He knows his stuff. And I wanted him to help me kind of break down, this weekend's actions because, like I said, we had a lot of boxing. And I know, I said last week that that more than likely we were going to rock out every Tuesday and Thursday. That's still the case. But there's going to be some times where we may add an extra show. And if we got boxing in the weekend, I may jump on and do a Monday show so that, we can recap the fights from the weekend and hopefully get a special guest on, to break them down with me. So more than likely, again, we get another treat, an extra show of the Hangout Spot Live this week. But again, usually Tuesdays, Thursdays, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we're going to be rocking out. Tomorrow we'll have another show, and then we got a special guest on Thursday, and we'll go over that a little bit later on. But you guys know the deal, man. I appreciate you rocking out with me. You know the ground rules, man. The ground rules is 3 simple and easy ground rules. If you come to the Hangout Spot Live, number 1, you got to smash that like button. If you're watching on YouTube Live, make sure you smash that like button as it will help with the visibility of the channel. The goal is to get, this show out to more boxing fans so that we can obviously, raise our profile here. And also the second one, if you haven't subscribed to the Hangout Spot, make sure you subscribe, my man. This is how we do it up here every single week. We're still going to be doing live shows. We're still going to be doing live shows, live boxing events, live interviews, but we're also going to be getting fighters, trainers, people from the boxing community and podcasters, other boxing podcasters as well, to join us here at the Hangout Spot. So there's a lot going on. And if we intend to get some good interviews, some good fighters on there, we got to raise our street cred. The only way to do that is to get more subscribers. So make sure you guys, definitely subscribe. And last but not least, the most important one, especially when I'm doing shows solo, I don't want to rock out by myself. So everybody make sure they participate in the chat. Talk it up, man. You know what I'm saying? That way I'm not talking to myself, share your opinions, voice your opinions. That's how we're going to do it up here every single week. It's free. It's free to comment. It's free to like. It's free to subscribe. But at the end of the day, if you're feeling generous and you want to throw a brother a couple bucks, there's also the super sticker option, the super chat, and the super thanks. I will always appreciate that. But anyway, we got Albert Prince Bell should be joining us in a little bit. And we got our first comment. My brother, Two-Tone, the superstar. What's going on, my TVB brother? We putting in that work, man. We putting in that work. We trying to get it done every single week. Tuesdays and Thursdays, we rocking out. And like I said, more than likely, we're going to have Two-Tone up in here with me too. That's my brother, the Hatrix. If you have not seen Two-Tone the superstar, make sure you follow him on YouTube and Twitter. He's the king of Twitter. They don't call him the Hatrix for nothing, man. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to make sure at one point we're going to get him on the show as well. But like I said, lots of boxing this weekend, man. And there's a lot of rumors in the world of boxing as well, which I want to touch on in a little bit. But without further ado, I see that I got my man backstage. So let's get him up in here. And here we go, man. My guy, undefeated super featherweight, Albert Prince Bell. What's going on, my brother? Welcome back to the Hangout Spot, man.
Sure, for sure, man. Thanks for having me back.
No, listen, man. It was great to have you on a couple months ago, and it was a great interview. I learned a lot about you outside of the ring as well. So if my viewers have not had a chance to see that interview, make sure y'all check it out on the Hangout Spot. But I thought it was great for you to come on because there was a lot of boxing going on this weekend. I know that you are a fan of boxing. And you definitely had an invested interest in one of the fights and that was the one in Phoenix, Arizona. So I want to get into that with you as well. But first and foremost, how's everything going with you, man?
Everything good, man. I'm just chilling, just sitting back, enjoying life. That's all.
Because I know the last time we spoke, you had a fight schedule that was supposed to go out in the beginning of October. During the show, you actually told me that they were moving it to the end of October.
For sure.
And obviously, the business of boxing kind of reared its ugly head, and it didn't happen. What's going on with that?
Man, at this point, we moved on. We moved on from the card. They said it was supposed to be December 28th, but it wasn't no promise in it. So I don't know if that card is still happening or whatever the case may be. But I just told them, I advised my team to just move on. There was too much mix up and confusion.
So is it safe to say that more than likely you're probably going to sit out the rest of the year and look to fight in the early part of 2025?
Yeah, we look hopefully like late January, early February, somewhere up in there.
Okay. And what about the opponent? Was it the same guy that you were looking to fight this time around, or will that change a little bit?
All that had changed. So we don't, we got to get to the drawing board and see what we're gonna do. Because we got talks with Top Rank and stuff, so we don't know if my first card fight of the year gonna be on one of their cards, or I don't know. We've got a lot to discuss, so I know more soon.
All right, I got you. And you mentioned Top Rank. I know you used to fight on Top Rank.
Yeah, for sure.
So are you looking to kind of reunite there, or is this just maybe like a one-fight thing?
That's what it's looking like reuniting. You know what I mean? Probably do some business with them because it makes sense. You know what I mean? For myself, for my career, and positioning for world championships and stuff like that.
Yeah, no doubt. And one of the things that I did learn about you in our last interview was that you're very, very savvy when it comes to the business of boxing. You know, with the way you move, and you're a smart guy. So I know that you'll figure it out. But just like any other, one of your fans, I just want to see you back in the ring, man.
Right, for sure. Me too. I want to see myself back in the ring too.
And I see we got something in common, bro.
Oh man. Yeah. I even peep. Okay, yeah.
I had to represent my guy. You know the deal.
For a nice shirt, man.
No. Listen, man. I'm always gonna rep you. You know that Toledo, Ohio is in the building. Again, I am here with undefeated super featherweight, 26-0, 9 KOs, Albert Prince Bell, who is yearning for a title shot, man. So hopefully 2025 is the year that happens. But before that happens, obviously a lot of things have to play out. But this weekend, man, we had some fire fights, man. And listen, I don't complain. There were 2 separate cards, so the more boxing, the better. I just wish that sometimes they would kind of just spread these cards out a little bit, right? Because I had to have 2 TVs on, champ.
Right. Yeah, I was flickering back and forth myself, you know what I mean? It was a lot of fights on, a lot of fights, good fights, upsets, all type of things that's going on this past Saturday. And
big time. Luckily here in the Hangout Spot, like I said, I got a couple of TVs, so I'm kind of just going back and forth.
I was out and about, so I was flicking back and forth on my phone, trying to drive and watch and all type of stuff. So,
nah, I hear you, brother. I hear you, man. But yeah, why don't we start with the card in Puerto Rico? We'll save the Phoenix card for last. We'll start with the card in Puerto Rico because we had. What was that?
No, go ahead.
Because we had Matchroom DAZN. They were obviously they had a card on the DAZN platform. It was in Puerto Rico. The main event was Liam Paro, who at the time was the IBF champion at 140, facing Richardson Hitchens, who was undefeated, 18-0, going for his first title shot. And Hitchens wins this fight by decision. I think it was a split decision. I think one of the judges had it really far-fetched for Liam Paro, which is a little mind-boggling to me. But nonetheless, man, congratulations to Richardson Hitchens. He is now a world champion, and the future looks extremely bright for him. And I give him a lot of credit in this one, champ, and I'll get your take on it in a second. But we were watching this fight live. I was actually doing a live fight chat on the Boxing Voice, and shout out to my people, Ness, Two-Tone Superstar on the Boxing Voice. If you have not checked them out every single day, they're the Breakfast Club of Boxing every single morning and in the evenings. And yours truly is usually on part-time as a co-host. So make sure you check it out. But anyhow, we were watching this fight, and I had Paro winning the first 4 rounds very, very fairly easy. And I give credit to 2 people, right? Richardson obviously had to make those adjustments, and he did do that in the second half of the fight. But I give a lot of props to his corner, and this is where I want to kind of get your take on it as well, because between rounds, we had the sound off, but people in the chat were saying that his dad or somebody in his corner was telling him he was losing the fight, that he was losing the first 4 rounds or whatnot, or I think the first 3 rounds. I'm not sure if it was 3 or 4. And to me, I applaud that type of honesty, right? Because usually corners, you have corners that tend to be honest, and you have corners that may not be as honest. I think it's also a good thing that they are honest, because at that point in time, it looked like the fight changed. Did you see the same thing?
Yeah, I didn't hear the instructions because I was actually at a bowling party while I was watching it. But I said I had him losing the fight early, and then he did make the proper adjustments, and showed real good resolve, and took care of the whole second half of the fight. I'll give him a lot of credit. Because it's hard to do. Sometimes people get discouraged after losing 3-4 rounds straight. They first world title fight, and the way he did it, he just made his game plan work. He didn't really throw the game plan out the window and just try to fight and bang with him to see if because the boxing wasn't working or whatever the case may be. But he definitely polished up, sharpened up, and made the proper adjustments and got that win.
A lot of people were saying that this might have been too early for him. So do you actually think that, with the adjustments that he made, this was actually the right time? Or did you think that maybe he caught Liam Paro, I don't know, maybe stylistically was kind of a tough matchup for Paro?
It was either way, though. I thought it could be either way. I could see people saying that his style was a better matchup for Hitchison, and I could see people thinking Paro would get it by being rugged, do stuff he does in the inside. He's strong. He's been having great performances. So it was for sure it's a 50-50 fight coming into it, and it looked at that way in the fight. And because like I said, the first 4 rounds, Paro. The rest of the fight, Africa did what he had to do and got it done. But definitely definitely was a tested fight, though. It was a gamble on both ends, especially on Richardson Hitchison. To go. Yeah, no, all of them taking gambles because he could have waited for a homecoming fight in Australia. He chose to go back to Puerto Rico. So that's what boxing about, though. It was the right time for both, I believe, and the best man won.
Yeah, no, you bring up a good point because I was questioning why he wouldn't take a fight in Australia. He just won the title. Maybe I wouldn't necessarily say a tune-up, right? Because it's a title defense, but against a lesser quality of opponent,
a softer touch.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly what I was looking for there. And by no means is Hitchens obviously he proved he's no light touch, and now he's a champion. Going back to what we talked about with his corner being honest with him and telling him that he was down in the fight. Again, I like that, but it also brought up something that I was thinking about, and I wanted to kind of hear your perspective about it as a fighter. How open are you to open scoring so that fighters could potentially know in the moment if they're down or if they're up?
I don't like it.
No? Why don't you like it?
It's like that's like how it be at the nationals in the like in the amateurs, like they got where you could see like between each round you could see the score, you down, but it takes a lot of action out of the fight sometimes. Like sometimes when the guy's up, they know they're gonna move, tie up. I don't know. I don't really like it. I like how it is. You know what I mean? I'm trying to think how to put it. But I don't like it. I don't think they should do open scoring.
Okay. And that's what I'm saying, because it's different from a fan's perspective than it is from an actual fighter.
I think it take the suspense out of it, of the sport. You know what I mean? When you go into the decision, you know who gonna get the decision. You know what I mean? Like when it's open scoring, I like the suspense of the anticipation of hearing and the new. You know what I mean? Or however the case may be. Like when you know you won already, it's just like. I don't know. I don't like it.
No, that's good. That's good. I do like that perspective. I mean, you're right. You're right. And like I said, the only reason why I say that too is because for accountability purposes, right? Because and there may be a different way, but there's a serious problem in the sport of boxing with the way judges are seeing fights. Because when you have a clear-cut winner and you have a judge that sees it totally opposite, you're like, what fight is he watching?
Yeah, that's all a part of the sport, though, man. You're gonna get some bad judging, you're gonna get some bad calls. You know what I mean? I think they should hold them more accountable after the fights when they do score those things like that. They should have to review, rewatch the fight and explain how did y'all get this way. You know what I mean? But it's boxing though, man. It's just it's one of them. What a judge scored Canelo beating Floyd the time they fought. That was
Good point.
So it's like long as they got it right, man. Yeah, but these judges got to be held accountable, or I think they should get suspensions too. Like if you just completely send in a bogus scorecard that's unexplainable, not even close to what everybody else watched and seen or the other judges. I think it should come with some type of consequence because you could ruin a guy's career.
Absolutely, and we've seen that happen, right?
Yeah,
guys losing their titles. Oshaki that first time against Conceição. I thought that was a clear-cut robbery.
Right. And once these decisions are rendered, it's on that person for life. Like this is on their record forever. You just go on to the next fight and judge the next fight, But I think it should be some type of consequence or repercussion of judges just flat out basically cheating or robbing a guy.
Yeah, that's crazy, man. It really is. And you're right, the accountability piece. Like these guys don't answer they're not nobody talks to these guys, nobody interviews them after. Like, what the hell were they looking at? What were they seeing? At least give an explanation of why your scorecard was trash. Like, that's crazy to me. And all of us that have day jobs, we get held accountable when we don't do the right, the job up to standards.
And I think they should do more of letting the main event fighters, if they fight for a title, do with picking the judges, agreeing on which judges they use. 'Cause I know some fights do that, they agree on a certain amount of judges from wherever the case may be, where this judge from that. I feel like if it's a world title fight, the fighters could get together and go through judges or pick which judge is going. They both okay with this guy. Are you okay with this style of judge? Coming to an agreement.
So that's a good point. So the fighters have absolutely no say in who judges the fights. That's just picked.
Yeah, it's like that. I think it's just I really don't know how that goes. But I know when you're on a certain level, like Floyd and them, they would pick. They have some say so in the selection of judges. So I think they should start opening up that more instead of just because this card, Top Rank got a card in Phoenix that Phoenix just going to use these set of judges and the fighters have no say so in that. Because you got guys that judge purely on aggression. If you're a slick boxer and you moving, they're going to automatically favor the guy that's, So I think they should go some type of selection process of the fighters having some type of say so in the judging.
That's a great point. Never thought about that. And you're probably right. It gets a little bit different when you're kind of up there like a Floyd or.
Yeah, I think
business of boxing, man. That's how it goes. But so that's like a pet peeve of mine. Again, I think it ruins fighters. It ruins their bag, potential fights, titles, all that stuff. We got to get that cleared. And it looks like, it's always going to be like you said, it's boxing, right? You're going to get some, you're going to win some, you're going to lose some. But how do you see Hitchens now? What do you think his future is? His future bright? Do you think he's somebody that could potentially take over that 140-pound division now that he's got a strap?
I don't know if he can take it over, but I know he's in a running to do so. I know it's nothing but big opportunities out there for him now. He's undefeated. He's an American fighter. He's he brash. He talk. Talk his stuff. But 140 is just so deep right now. So it's definitely he put his name in the hat for many big fights. Now he got that belt and he got something that the other fighters want now. So now they gonna come see him. So he got the opportunity to become whatever he may believe he is. You got 140 is stacked right now, and everybody from 35 is coming up to 40 as well, mostly. So it's a lot of opportunities out there for him. So if he's the best out of that crop, he definitely gonna get the opportunities now. He with a good promoter. He has a world championship. He's undefeated. And it's guys out there, man. You got T.O., Devin, Ryan, Frank Martin just went up there. You got the guys that's underdogs that's coming in that's could beat anybody on any given night, like Kenneth Sims and guys like that. You got Barboza, um, man, Ramirez still out there. You know what I mean? It's 140 is stacked, so it's a lot of big fights out there for him.
Yeah, for sure, man. You're right, and I can't wait to see what's next for him. I am here with undefeated super featherweight Albert Prince Bell. In the co-main event, I just want to touch on that one real quick, and the reason why is because it was in your weight class. You know, Henry LeBron against Christopher Pitufo Diaz. LeBron wins this fight by unanimous decision because he boxed smart. You know, he used his length, and he was content with not getting drawn into Pitufo's fight because it looked like Pitufo wanted to fight.
Right.
In the center of the ring, didn't throw enough jabs, in my opinion. Was trying to land that big right hand and hurt him, and it never happened. So I give LeBron a lot of credit. Do you see yourself in a fight maybe potentially with Henry LeBron? I think that would be very, very interesting.
Yeah, I'm open to it. You know,
I thought about you after that fight.
Yeah, I'm open. I'm definitely open to it. Whatever makes sense, man. Whatever makes sense. If it gets me to a what they has campaigned, I think in the WBA for that fight, I believe.
That was the WBA,
yeah. So if that was a fight that would get me to a WBA championship or number one WBA something like that, then yeah, I'm definitely open to it. You know what I mean? But as far as the fight go, I've going into it, I figured that it'll be like that type of fight. Henry LeBron outboxing him, being smart, not getting into a firefight. You know, it pretty much went how I thought it was going to go.
Yeah. I was expecting a little bit more of a firefight.
Oh no, LeBron's a smart boxer. He's very technical.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, he showed me a different. I mean, again, I'm not. I guess I was being a little bit biased because I actually I was in one of Christopher Diaz's camp. One day I saw him working out. I mean, he looked laser focused. I did a short interview with him, and he did say he was going to come to fight. So yeah, I thought it was going to be a little bit more of a firefight, but you're right. Styles make fights, and styles make fights, and I give Henry a lot of credit. But again, I'm not kidding, champ. After that fight, I thought about you real quick because I'm like, man, if you can't secure that title shot, this may be a good fight for Prince.
Yeah. It's I have my eye on LeBron for a minute now since he even when he was with Top Rank and stuff. So I've been looking at him in the division. So I definitely been tuning in, keeping an eye on him because I know it's a potential fight that can happen.
Yeah, no doubt. I know you always got your eye on the prize. Shout out to Elvin Rodriguez. Shout out to the Hangout Spot. Congrats, my brother. I appreciate you, man. Appreciate the support, and I appreciate you watching. But man, Jaleel Hackett, what'd you think about that, man?
I didn't get to actually see it. I was gonna pull it up on YouTube because I didn't know the card started that early. So once I got a text, they like Jaleel just lost, and I'm like, damn, I didn't even know the card had started yet. But I heard they said he could have got the nod though. They said it was very close, but they said I guess some people felt like the dude outworked him, but a lot of people that I seen they was talking. They said they thought Jaleel did enough to win. I don't know. I gotta watch it. I see it's on YouTube now, so I'm gonna go back probably watch it later on tonight when I lay down.
Check that out and shoot me a DM, man. I want to see what you think about that because I had Jaleel winning that fight.
Okay, yeah. I seen he was on the he was on with Mill City and Zap yesterday. I seen they was on there talking, and they were saying a lot of people in the comments were saying they thought he won, but just hope he stay focused, get right back in the gym and come back better, or get a possible rematch with the guy and straighten it out.
No, absolutely. And he's talking about wanting to probably fight Devin Haney because Devin Haney.
Yeah, I think that's going back and forth on Twitter. What was that yesterday? I think one of these days they was going back and forth on Twitter with each other. So yeah, but you gotta do a little more work to get to Dev. Dev is at the top of the top. He was an undisputed champion and a 2-division champion. So Jaleel still is kind of on the prospect side of things. So they probably it's not gonna go outside of them just talking stuff to each other probably on Twitter because I don't see Devin. That don't make sense for Devin at all.
Right. You're not really a big Twitter guy, right?
Nah,
You're not a big
I'm not.
trash talker.
Yeah, I'm not into all of that. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, I'm a little older. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
uh,
You
I
ain't
don't.
old though. You ain't
Yeah, no,
old, but
I'm
I
not
get what
old.
you're
I'm just
saying.
saying,
I get what you're saying.
that's like the younger guys thing. They do that Twitter stuff with each other. You know, like they from like I'm a different generation than them. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
um, but just personally anyway, I've just never been like I'm not a big trash talk guy. Like it's gonna show. You know what I mean? It's gonna show when we get in there. Like that's just one sport where was outside of MMA, but this is a sport where you actually gonna see who's the better man with no partners, no teammates, no none of that, and we actually get to hit each other. So it ain't no
Oh,
point talking a lot of stuff, and we're gonna see. And if you're gonna beat me up, I'm gonna beat you up.
oh, for sure, for sure. Now you throwback because from
Yeah.
that conversation we had the last time, you a throwback dude. You know what I mean? And I appreciate that. But yeah, I mean, it gets a little frustrating because it's like these guys fight more on Twitter than they do in the ring.
And then that's another thing. Like I don't want to pointlessly talk stuff to you. Like if we gonna if we fight. If we fighting, then yeah, okay, it makes sense. We've got some sign. But if we on there just jaw jacking and writing each other back and forth as men, I'm not doing it. You know what I mean? It's just like we didn't talk all this stuff and now we're not even fighting. So what was the point of me wasting my energy even? I don't know. I ain't into it though.
I hear you, man. I hear you. Let's be real. Where Treese at? Yo, so this comment is because, and I think I told you that the last time we spoke during that interview. There's a guy named Treese that calls in. He's a frequent caller on the Boxing Voice.
Mhm.
So he's a big part of the community. Everybody knows him, and he always reps you because he's from Toledo.
Okay.
So he shouts out the Midwest Mafia. And he's always shouting out my boy Albert Bell, when you was about to fight October 26th. Make sure you tune in. I mean, all the Ohio fighters he reps, but he definitely reps you. So I was hoping that he was going to jump on today. So, yo, let's be real. If you can get a hold of Treese, get him on here, man. Get him on here. His boy Albert Bell is on with me live, man.
Shout out to Treese, man.
Yeah. No, you definitely got to shout. Yeah, shout him out, and I'll make sure I let him know.
Yeah, keep rocking. Yeah. I'm with you.
For sure. He's trying to push every button to get you that title shot. He even said it today, actually, on his show today. He was like, I don't know what Navarrete he's waiting for. There's a guy in his division that's his size.
Yeah.
He want to get that smoke. I think y'all don't know who I'm talking about. All right. We got Michelle, my sister, much love from Wegmans in PA. So I guess, listen, I got people that are grocery shopping that are watching us, man. Shout out to you, Michelle. No doubt about it. I'm here with Albert Prince Bell. Chap, let's switch gears, man, because this is a card that I really wanted to talk to you about. This was Phoenix, Arizona. Okay. 2 rematches in the main event and the co-main event. The co-main event was Robeisy Ramirez featherweight fight against Rafael Espinoza. Espinoza won the first one between the two, ended up taking his title. And now this was the much anticipated rematch because Robeisy was coming off a stoppage. So it was kind of like, shout out to Top Rank too, right? Because there's a lot of times where I shout them out for Robeisy, for giving Robeisy that rematch, and for giving Oshaki that rematch.
Mm-hmm.
Well deserved. Right. But you know how it is sometimes, champ, right? They'll lose a fight, whether it's close or not, and then they'll allow the champion to move in another direction.
Right.
So shout out to Top Rank for letting Robeisy try to get that back. He did not, obviously.
Most definitely.
Yeah, I mean, he actually gets stopped in the 6th round via TKO because he basically did it. He hurt his eye.
Yeah.
I don't know if you got a chance to see that.
Yeah, I actually watched it this morning again. Because like I said, I was at a bowling party, so I was like running back to my phone and and looking back. So I actually sat this morning and watched I watched both fights earlier today because I know we was going to be on talking about it. So I wanted to actually be able to say it out, watch the full fight. That was crazy though. He came out doing good. He was boxing good, placing good body shots with the left hand.
Body shots, yeah.
He was doing good. Then I seen the little elbows he was talking about, but
I wanted to ask you about that. Do you think that was done purposely or?
No, some guys it just happens. But I haven't watched enough Espinoza to see if he does it in his fights. I know the last fight he just blew guy out the water. So, but I know they said the first fight they said they was complaining about the elbows and stuff. So I didn't really look for it until this fight. So I'll have to look at some of his old fights to see if that's really an ongoing thing, or is it just the southpaw orthodox thing and him being so tall, him being so short that he's accidentally elbowing him, or I don't know. You know what I mean? So I have to go back and see if that's in his like in his tendencies of elbowing other guys. You know what I mean? But if they said his diagnosis yet, did he have a fractured orbital or broken orbital?
I haven't seen anything official, but that's what I thought because it puffed up right after that. Isn't that a sign of usually when you?
So and then for him just to quit like that in a close fight, that I had him up by like a point in or something in the sixth fight. So I'm in 6th round. So it had to be something like that's really bothering him to just say, just to throw away your title shot like that. So I want to see what the diagnosis is. But if it wasn't, if it's not a broken or fractured orbital, it's gonna look bad.
Yeah,
it's gonna look bad because fighters, we don't get these opportunities a lot. You know what I mean? To come from where he come from, defecting to get over here and make something of himself in his career, and just to give up like that in a fight. If it's not like something severe as a fracture or broken orbital bone, it's no excuse then.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, listen, I'm not a fighter, but I've never had an orbital bone fractured in a fight.
Yeah,
so I can't say anything. I will say that other fighters have fought through it, but everybody's different. At the end of the day, you don't want somebody to go blind over a fight either. But yeah, I'm with you, man. I don't know, because it's crazy. This is what I wanted to ask you here. I mean, for the fans that don't know, Rafael Espinoza is a unicorn, just like Prince Bell, man. You guys are mad tall for your divisions. You're 6 feet. Than me. You're about 6 feet tall, right?
Yep. He's 6'1".
He's 6'1", man, and he came in looking like a welterweight, man. Yeah, I mean, it just looked like David versus Goliath in this fight, man. Like, do you think that was more of a size issue or more of a stylistic issue?
I think it's a style issue because he's like Robesi. Like he is, I feel like he was boxing him, but every time he would like get in range, he wouldn't like fight him in the inside. Like he'll reset and get back. So that's putting yourself at a disadvantage when you fighting a guy that tall and long. You know what I mean? You kind of want to. If I was Robesi, I think I would want to be kind of closer. You know.
Mm-hmm.
But he was being effective with it like early, but that guy, when that guy comes on, he comes on. So I think he just gives people problems. So he's strong. He throws a lot of punches. He tall as hell. He in shape. Yeah, it's gonna be tough for anybody to beat him at featherweight, I believe.
Especially if you ballooning up to 145 pounds.
Yeah. But it was only like a 6 pound difference when they showed what they weighed in tonight. He was like 143 or something like that, and Robesi was like 137 or something. So I don't think really the weight was the issue. I just think the frame and the way he fights. You know what I mean? Yeah, that was I think it's just gonna be a tough matchup for any of them guys, and especially putting that pressure on them. Yeah, that was gonna be tough. However you cut it that one.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a tough nut to crack at that division. I would love for him to fight Shushu.
Yeah, I believe I like to see that too. I think that might be actually happening soon. I believe now that they got the Robesi out the way, they closed that chapter. So I think he should probably be the next man up.
Yeah, for sure. We got Superwoman 607. So proud of you, doing great things. I appreciate the support. That's my sister. I appreciate the support.
Yeah, how you doing?
But yeah, man. I mean, the future's bright for Espinoza. Like I said, man, it's not normal, to be that tall in those divisions like you. I think one of the reasons why you're avoided is because of your height and your style.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And we talked about that the last time, that we chopped it up during that interview. But I'd like to see him again. I think Shushu would be
I would
is
like
ready
to,
for that smoke.
yeah, I would like to see it as well. You know what I mean? I think he's yeah, I believe Chushu deserves the opportunity. I don't know if they want to unify with the who else got a belt in 126 that's in top rank stable. What they got the is that the IBF?
That is the at 126 you got Espinosa, the WBO.
Yeah, and I'm saying they got in top rank with they got Ronaldo too, right? He still got the title, right?
No, he lost. Bernardo
Oh
lost
yeah,
to
he got knocked
Angelo
out. Yeah,
Leo. He
yeah,
got
yeah, yeah,
knocked
yeah, yeah,
out.
yeah. I forgot. Oh, I forgot about that.
One
Oh,
knockout, one of the knockouts of the
yeah,
candidate
yeah,
for
yeah.
knockout of the year.
Yep, that's totally slipped my mind with Angelo.
Former pro box fighter, champ.
Yeah,
Shout out to
Angelo
pro
Leo.
box.
Yeah. That's my guy. Angelo Leo, he be out there in Vegas, man. But yeah, I forgot about that. So that's what I was saying. That's what I was trying to get to. I'm like, I don't know if they're gonna try to unify the titles within top rank. Cause I'm like, okay, Shushu would probably fight Vernado or Espinoza, but I forgot he don't have the title no more. So yeah, it only makes sense for Shushu to get the fight with Espinoza, then being that they both top ranked guys now. Um, yeah, I believe he deserve it.
For sure. I think he might get elevated to number one. On the last rankings I had, he was number two behind Robesi.
Yeah, he'll definitely get that number one spot.
Yeah, for
But they
sure.
fight anyway, top rank. If they want you to fight for the title, they're gonna have you fight for the title as long as you somewhere in that top 10. So you know what I mean? So yeah, I think he'll get the shot though. I believe it.
That's a fight that I'm looking forward to. If you're watching this on YouTube Live, make sure you smash that like button as it will help with the visibility of the channel. And if you have not subscribed to the Hangout Spot, make sure you do so. But yeah, man, that's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be interesting what they do with Espinoza. But then we had the main event, and this is another fight that I was thinking about afterwards, because you had the rematch between Emmanuel Navarrete against Oscar Valdez. This was for the WBO 30-pound title, your division, and Navarrete just mows down Valdez. I mean, the first fight he wins by decision. This one, he knocks him out in the sixth round, which was shocking to say the least. I didn't see that coming. I did have Navarrete winning that fight. I thought that maybe it would go 12. Did that surprise you, champ?
No, I thought I believed he was gonna stop him.
Really?
Yeah, I believed it. Valdez had said something in his last fight that concerned me. Is when he fought Liam Wilson afterwards. He came like, you almost had me. You were this close to getting me. You basically like he was about to get stopped. You know what I mean? Before he caught it. So I'm like, you just admitted that you was basically about to. You was almost out. Like and being. I feel like he coming to the end. You know what I mean? Like he's had a long career. Been a lot of wars. Been a lot of drag out, knockdown fights. You know what I mean? And that punishment catches up to you. You know what I mean?
He's been in wars. You're
Yeah,
right. He's been
so
in
many
wars.
wars. Then you ain't even counting the gym wars that you going through in sparring sessions. And the first fight, it was a decision, but it was a brutal decision. You know what I mean? Like he took a beating. So I know and I know Navarrete injured his hand in that fight, his wrist or whatever the case may be, and he couldn't really do the things that he usually would do. And Valdez don't have the footwork in the jab or and things like that to keep him off of you. He's a flat-footed fighter that comes forward. So whenever Navarrete would cut it on, you can't get out the way. So that's what he was doing. He would coast, and then the last 30 seconds, and whenever he ready to let his hands go, he just blasted him out. So I figured, especially when he dropped him in the first round early, I knew. I said, oh yeah, it's gonna be a short night eventually.
Yeah. The reason why I had my doubts about it. Well, again, I had Navarrete winning, but I thought it would go to decision, is because Navarrete came down in weight, right? He went up, lost to Baranchek at 135, came back down, and he was looking kind of flabby, man.
Yeah. But he always looked flabby. Like that's just, I think, I don't know. You just one of them dudes, man, that you feel like he did everything wrong or looks wrong, but he goes in there and he get the job done.
That's crazy though, right? Because his
Yeah.
style, and you answered one of my questions, because one of my questions was going to be, do you think it's just a bad style matchup for Valdez, or you think his best days or be?
I think it's a mixture of both. You know what I mean? I would think his best days behind him, and then also it's just um if you're not like a boxer or a mover with a guy like Navarrete, or that's, you know what I mean, got great footwork, it's gonna be hard to beat him because he jumps across, and especially when you're taller and longer than you know what I mean. He jumps across the ring, he throws shots from any and everywhere. And Valdez not a defensive, elusive fighter where he's slipping and catching and doing things. He more of a right here.
High guard, yeah,
Yeah,
doesn't a lot of looping shots.
and he gonna punch through that. He gonna get them through there. You know what I mean? And it's gonna be some awkward placements of them shots. So I just feel like it was a mixture of both. But I just feel like Navarrete got his number. You know what I mean? I don't think this style he can't beat that man.
Yeah, no, I feel you. Do you think this is it for Valdez?
I mean, I know he's saying he want to come back stronger and better, but I don't see where he goes from here. You know what I mean? Like is what you gonna be a gatekeeper? I don't really see it because Navarrete going. Well, he said he only fighting 2 more times at 30, possibly, or 1 more at 30 before he goes back up to 35. So
Yeah, that's what he said. Yeah.
him. I know Shaki's looking to fight for unification. I don't really see who Valdez is gonna really fight at 30. I'll fight him. You know what I mean? Yeah.
That was gonna be my question.
Yeah, I will fight him.
If it's a fight that gets you that title shot, of course you're gonna want that smoke,
like
right?
But for him, it's just like everything else is like a step down, as far as the money, as far as the titles, everything else. So it's like, do you want to? I don't know. It's something he got to look into himself and say, you know what I mean? Like, damn, do I want to fight for less money with lesser known names that could possibly be just as dangerous and taking this extra punishment and things like that? So, like I said, I think his best days behind him. So, and now it's the first time ever being stopped. And now it seems like when fighters get stopped, they start getting stopped more often because that confidence of believing that you're invincible and stuff like that is no longer there. You know what I mean? And yeah, I don't see why he would unless he could get like another big title fighter, say he fight old Shockey next or something like that, then yeah. But other than that, if you're not getting like a title shot next, I really don't see what's the point.
I don't think he deserves a title shot. Not after.
Yeah, that's exactly. So
yeah.
I don't really. Yeah, I don't see what else is it for him to do in the sport. You know what I mean? He became a 2-division world champion. You know what I mean? Had some great fights. But yeah, it's about to the end. Then was he 34, 35 now? Yeah, it's only gonna get worse.
He's older in dog years, that's for sure. Like you said, man, he's put in a lot of work, a lot of wars. You know, he's a warrior, man, and I always respect him. But again, you know, I always prefer that they walk away a little bit earlier than too late.
Yeah, that's how I feel too. That's basically how I'm trying to word it, because you know what I mean, all you're gonna do is diminish a great career, or you know what I mean, or possibly risk getting hurt or injured and things like that. So yeah, I would walk away a little earlier than rather walk away late in this situation for him.
For sure. Shout out Juice. Thanks for the support, brother. I think you and Navarrete would be fire.
Mm-hmm.
I think it would be more of a fair fight too. Again, you're tall like he is.
Mm-hmm.
But he's big for that weight. Like I said, man, I kind of look at him like a weight bully, man, at 130.
But you gotta think, but you can't really call him a weight bully because you gotta think he was a champ at 122.
Yeah, but he looks big, man.
126 to 130. He just I think it's just the makeup of his body that he
That's
probably
what it is.
blows up. You know what I mean? Like, because like he just was when he came on the scene, he was a 122 pounder. And for him to go to 122 up to 35, he probably just a big dude, man. Like, I think I wouldn't call him a weight bully though, but I think he just holds weight. Like, you know, like right when like after a fight, I think he probably just balloons up.
That's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I always found that intriguing for fighters to gain 20 pounds overnight or one day to the next. How on average, how many pounds do you usually rehydrate to?
Probably like 16 pounds.
Really?
Yeah.
And how? Explain it to some of my viewers
I
here.
really don't. I don't understand it either, but because it takes like 4 weeks to lose it all, but then you could put it right back on in one day. Like it's
Well,
just
that I do know because again, losing weight, forget it. I can lose 3 pounds during the week. I had 3 cheeseburgers or whatever on the weekend. Forget
yeah.
it. I gained 8 pounds. But I don't. How is that physically possible for somebody to gain that much weight in
Because
24
a lot of
hours,
it,
champ?
like, because you put like a lot of fluids back in your body, so when you cutting your weight, 9-10 pounds of it is water weight. So once you put all them fluids back on you, you getting that 10 pounds back off just off the dribble, just off of drinking waters and liquid IVs and Pedialytes and all that type of stuff. So um, because that's really what you rehydrate with. You're rehydrating with your liquids, so that you can get 10 pounds easy just off of that alone. And then when you start put your solids on, I guess that's another 5-6. You know what I mean? So it's crazy though. It is. It's crazy to think
It's
about.
it's 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 insane.
Mm.
That's why I give you guys a lot of credit. Not only do you put your body through what you put it through during a training camp, a grueling training camp, then you're gaining all this weight the night before. And
Yeah.
it's pretty crazy to go out there and perform.
And you
So
gotta do it
that's
the right way. You know what I mean? You can't just garf some stuff down trying to get back big. You gotta like so your body can perform at the how it's supposed to. So you don't be like sluggish and bloated and fat. You know what I mean? But
mhm.
yeah, it is crazy. It's crazy to think about.
How do you feel at that weight
I feel
when
good. I
you,
always feel good and strong. You know what I mean? Especially because you gotta cut your weight right. You gotta like I've been a professional for a long time, so I pretty got much all this stuff worked out. You know what I mean? Down to a science and the right timing and stuff like that. So I feel good. And especially like once I see the number on the scale, I'm already in a good mood. You know what I mean? You about to get this good food and me relax. The hard part really do be over. Like the fight is really like Mike Tyson said, that's the party. Like because it's like that's what you do. We box every day, so being that you took the hard stuff out, all the training camp and strength and conditioning and running the miles and eating right and cutting the weight. Now it's just time to fight. That's all I have to do is go fight. Oh yeah. So I'll be feeling good.
they say that's the easiest part, right?
It
Fighting on
is.
fight night.
It is. Like it's just what I mean. Now I can get to do what I do.
When are we gonna get that Navarrete fight, man? We got to get you a title shot.
Man, hopefully soon. Hopefully. Um, that's why, what I mean, like I said, try to get see what's up with top rank and what they want to do because I don't know if they're gonna do because Navarrete might want the unification immediately with Oshaki. I could see them making that. Um, which I'll be okay with as long as I get the winner. I'll do like a fight with top rank or something, and then they get them to get the winner, or let me go straight into the Navarrete fight or fight once and then fight Navarrete. However, I'm open to it all. You know what I mean? But hopefully we get some type of title shot with whoever this year.
It's got to happen. I mean, it's a sin that you've been a top contender for
Mm,
that belt and you have not gotten a title shot.
right,
That's
right.
got to be super duper frustrating for you, man.
So
So
man, so yeah, hope it gotta happen this year, man. I think it is. You know what I mean? I deserve it for sure.
for sure.
That'd be a great fight. You know what I mean? That'd be a good fight.
Oh hell yeah! I gotta roll up on that one.
Yeah, that'd be a good fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah, when you fight
Awkward,
him, I gotta roll up on that.
strong, awkward, got good power, weird shots. You know what I mean? I'm longer than him, faster than him. I think I got way more ring IQ, better
Hmm.
work and defense. But he bring a lot of X factors to the game. That's gonna be hard for anybody to deal with. You know what I mean? So I'm up to the challenge. You know what I mean? I think I get the job done for sure.
That was gonna be my question. How the hell do you prepare for somebody like him?
Um, it'd be hard. You got to bring in somebody. I would try to see if I get some work with Venado Lopez for that.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? He got a strong, awkward style, do things. So just to get the look of
That's a good call out. Yeah,
like things that'll make me uncomfortable in camp. You know what I mean? Try to find those fighters that do everything outside the textbook. So I would have to get some guys like that around and try to find some guys like that sparring just so I can use the look and the feel. You know what I mean? But I got real good adaptation anyway. Like I'm a real big thinker in the ring, so I'm sure I'll figure it out.
For sure, for sure. And I'm here with Undefeated Super Featherweight title contender Albert Prince Bell. I got a good question from you from the audience. What food do you splurge on when you're done training? Because I know you guys are super disciplined when you're training, but when that's it, fight night is over. What do you splurge on?
I love hot wings. I'm a good hot wing. I love me.
Man.
Yeah, I love me some hot wings. But I like a lot of like soul food too, though. But I love. But like cheating wise food, like they're just I know they ain't hot wings for sure.
Is that, and that was my sister Michelle who shouted that question. I'll shout out to you, Michelle. Is that something that you totally cut out during training?
Yeah, I try to stay away from all like type of stuff. I stay away from anything that's not outside my meal preps. You know what I mean? Like I have a guy that makes all that stuff, so it's a lot of stuff I'm not gonna eat. You know what I mean? No burgers, no wings, no pizza, none of that stuff that you know what I mean. So, I go back to that my fast food habits and stuff like that.
I hear that. That's super disciplined. I couldn't do that. That's for sure.
Yeah. It be
But
good though. It be good. They be cooking. They be whipping up good. You know what I mean? Like salmon, asparagus, quinoa rice. Then you got the certain like baked chicken and broccoli and you know what I mean. It's not like when I was younger I used to think like oh this meal prep stuff gonna be nasty, but it just be the right type of foods and it be good. You know what I mean? So it ain't that hard.
I feel you, man. I would love to see you in a fight, possibly with Oshaki too. That would be.
Yeah, I'm open to that too for sure. Like that's it. Any of them like once I get back to top rank and they got a plan for me to you know what I mean, to get me to either one of the title shots or however the case may be, I'm open to it all. You know what I mean? They all great fights, I believe. You know what I mean? That'd be a whole totally different fight than me and Navarrete, because then you got two slick boxers that and thinkers. So it'd be good to you know what I mean do a chess match with him.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. Champ, there's another fighter in your division who's been making headlines lately, and it's because he's moving up in weight to fight arguably one of the faces of boxing, Lamont Roach.
Oh yeah,
who's a WBA champion at 130. He's moving up to fight Tank Davis. I'm gonna let you go soon because I know you've been on with me for a minute.
You good? We chopping it.
All right, that's what's up. That's what's up. You know, you my guy.
Most definitely.
You come to the Hangout Spot. You family. You already know that. But I wanted to get your take on this fight. And this is no disrespect to Lamont Roach, man. I think he's he's an excellent fighter. It's just a fight that I did not want to see.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple reasons behind that. All right. Most of it has to do with Tank.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like at 135, Tank is arguably the best lightweight in the division. He should be fighting the top names in his division. There's some people out there that are linked to him that we want to see him fight.
Right.
None of those guys are Lamont Roach. Again,
right.
No disrespect to Roach, but he's a guy moving up a weight class. Why not see Tank fight Shakur? Why not see him challenge himself against Teo, maybe at a catchweight? I don't know. Either way, it's here. Tell me why I should be more excited about this fight, or am I right?
I mean, on the outside looking in, 100% you're right. Like, but I don't know what goes in. I'm not in a business to know what's going on, why the fight's not being made between the Tanks and Shakurs, whatever case may be. I don't know. But I agree. I don't think it was a fight nobody expected or nobody was begging for, had on their Christmas wish list. But now that the fight is made, I actually do think it's going to be a good fight. Lamont got good skills. They're very familiar with each other. You know what I mean? So anytime you got a guy that you've been there with, you're not about to just come in and just get blown out the water or just walk into them big shots that because he used to seeing in the gym and sparring sessions and amateur fights and stuff. So he knows more about Tank than them other guys do. You know what I mean? So and I actually think it's gonna be a good fight. Like I truly believe it's gonna be a good fight. You know what I mean? Just off their styles, the skill sets, uh, the pride and where they fighting for, what they coming from. You know what I mean? And the rivalry right at home with them. Like I said, they know each other well, so I think it's gonna be actually a good fight. I still would favor Tank for sure, but I think Lamont gonna put up a a a better performance than people think they're gonna get from him in this fight. But I could be wrong, you know. I mean, it's boxing, but I believe that they styles gonna match up well.
Okay. Because what I was thinking was we're going to see a repeat performance of what we saw against Tank and Martin. A guy that's going to cook early, but while Tank downloads that data. Again, chat, if I'm wrong, tell me.
I believe,
and then he strikes later on and he stops him in the later rounds.
Tank start late anyway, but Lamont carries power and gets better during the fight. And he's not a front runner. He's not gonna come out. He got too much experience to just come out and blow his load. You know what I mean? He's a 12-round fighter. You know what I mean? So I don't see him just coming out going crazy early and cooking Tank early or nothing like that. I think it's gonna be like. And he got cerebral. He's very methodical what he's doing. Like, he's jabbing in place and got good defense. You know what I mean? Got great, I don't know. I think KG in the inside, good inside fighter. Yeah, I think if anything do happen in the fight, it's gonna be late for sure. But I don't see him just coming out like that real fast and running out of gas or letting himself just get figured out like that. You know what I mean? They, like I said, they know each other, so the data already kind of downloaded. You know what I mean? Tank used to be he's in DC all the time. You know what I mean? I know they sparred a lot of times, so they already got a feel for each other. So it's just gonna. I don't know, man. It's about to come up though. We'll see in March. We'll see.
Because I've been playing this fight in my mind since it's been announced, and I know as it gets closer, I'm going to get more into it. I guess it was almost like, really,
and Lamont been a lot better. Like he's. I don't feel like he's that same Lamont that lost to Jamil Herring. You know what I mean? I feel like he have gotten a lot better. But Tank is Tank, you know. We're gonna see.
You have no concerns of him moving up in weight, though?
Nah, because it's another thing. Tank used to fight at 30 as well. Lamont have had fights at 137 and 138 early in his career. Then and he a little taller than Tank. I seen them on the face off and stuff. They look. I mean, he don't look like little. So,
right.
Yeah, I don't believe him going 35 is an issue with being Tank. Probably with somebody else, another bigger 35, but Tank not a real big 135.
That's a good point. No, that's an excellent point. I guess I was just more gearing that towards the punching power because, man, he probably hits like a 140 or 147.
Yeah, no, he cracking for sure.
Yeah.
But it made Lamont stronger too, not having to lose that 5 pounds or being able to walk around in camp at a higher weight. You know what I mean? So yeah, I don't think the weight is the issue.
Okay. All right. He said in the press conference that he wants to retire. 2025 will be his last year. I think he said 3 more fights, I guess Lamont included. That took me by surprise because you're talking about a guy who's 30 years old in the prime of his career. Again, people arguably call him one of the faces of boxing. But and that's I don't necessarily think retirement and boxers should be in the same dictionary. I mean, fighters retire all the time and then they unretire and they come back. But do you think that he was capping, or you think that he?
No, I think he's for real. Cause
you think he's for real?
Yeah, I think he hinted at it before. He's like, after this deal, I'm done. He was saying it when he said the names that he wanted or whatever, the people that he got to get before he get out, and that was a while ago. So I think that's something he's been thinking about. You know what I mean? He made a shit ton of money. Like he said, he got 2 daughters now. He don't really want the limelight and the fame and all that. You know what I mean? Some people that's not what they into. You know what I mean? So I don't think he capping. You know what I mean? I can see it.
Yeah,
And there's a lot that goes in with boxing, like just the politics and just not even the politics, but just I don't know. Boxing is a whole deal for itself. So I can see him saying what he gonna do in the sport and get out.
now that I'm involved in boxing, I get to see a lot of the ins and out, right? How conversations, how the business of boxing works, and it's
Right.
crazy.
Right. So, like I said, he made a shit ton of money. I'm sure he's set for life. You know what I mean? If he just don't go nothing crazy, but he's like he said, he want to build his real estate portfolio and things like that. So, um, I could see him walking away from the sport. You know what I mean? After he do what he said he want to do.
I don't want him to walk away unless we see a Shakur fight. That's the fight that I want to see.
Yeah.
I mean,
It's a couple matchups that I would like to see him in. You know what I mean? But the Shakur fight is definitely one of them. I like
which one else would you like to see?
I like the Teo fight.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted the Lomachenko fight. Him and Devin is still a huge fight. A Ryan Garcia rematch is a huge fight. You know what I mean? It's hella fights out there for him.
Yeah, for sure.
Davis come to fight. There's a lot of fights that could be made.
Yeah, and that young buck, he wants that smoke, man. He was calling out Tank after that last performance.
If you especially if you get this belt, the IBF belt at 35, it'll make sense. It's a unification fight. Keyshawn brings something to the table now, and if you get this title, but that's a tough fight itself against Baranchik, because he's an Olympian, a Ukrainian southpaw slick fight. Yeah, it's some good fights out there, man. Some good fights out there at 35.
For sure. Speaking of Teo, I got one last one. Speaking of Teo, he made the headlines today, right? Because this weekend he called out 3 people, his hit list.
Mm-hmm.
Boots Ennis, Tank Davis,
mm-hmm.
and Bud Crawford.
Yeah.
And obviously we've all known throughout social media that he's been calling out Terence Crawford.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not understanding why, but I do give him credit. Obviously he's challenging himself, or daring to be great. What do you think about Teo, and do you think there's a realistic shot that he fights Boots, and how do you like that fight?
I mean, I like it. I wasn't expecting it, but I like it. Teo fights to level his competition. Once he fights great fighters, he looks great. When he fight guys you think he's gonna blow out the water, it'd be iffy. So you never know what Teo gonna show up depending on the competition that he's facing. So I like it though. Why not?
I mean, listen, like I said, I mean, at least he's calling out fighters and he's trying to make fights happen.
And then, as far as the Terence fight, I don't see that happening. When he's at 47, possibly, yeah, but he at 54. He's not worried about Teo fighting at 140. The Tank fight, like I said, that one makes sense. That's a good fight. But yeah, but as far as the Boots and I think there's only 2 fights on there they said was realistic. The third one, I don't. Unless he comes to 47, beats Boots, then say he'll fight Terence or something like that. But only 2 fights I believe is realistic on there is the Boots and the Tank one.
For sure, he'd have to move up to 154 to even. And speaking of moving up, Terence Crawford, there've been rumors that he wants to obviously get that Canelo fight.
Mm-hmm.
He'd have to move up to 168. When he was chirping about that about a year ago or whatever it was, I never thought that fight would come into fruition. But there's been rumors that Turki Al-Sheikh wants to sit down with Canelo and make that happen.
Yeah, I've heard there's been rumors about him. I think they should like a catch weight though. I don't think he should have to go all the way to 168 for it. If they meet at 60, or something like that. I wouldn't want them to go all the way to 68, but them guys, they deserve to do whatever they want to do. They the faces of the sport. They the 2-time undisputed guys and stuff like that. So whatever they do, they're gonna do is gonna make them a lot of money. So and it's all legacy, especially on Terrence's part. If he has to get that, that'd be crazy. But Canelo might be too big for him, but Terence got skills. If it happens, I'm gonna watch it.
Oh, for sure, for sure. Like I said, I mean, there's weight classes for a reason in boxing. I don't think that Canelo at this stage in his career, with the way he calls the shots, will probably want to meet him
Right.
halfway. He's going to want him to come up to 168 and fight him at his division. I think that's a lot.
I think that's a lot because you got to think Terence was lightweight champion. So for him to from lightweight to 168 is crazy. But yeah, that's a tall task. That's a tall order. It's a tall order for sure. But like I said, I would like to see like probably at 160. He go up a weight, you come down a weight. I mean, that's 60 ain't like you. I don't think Canelo will have a hard time making 160, being that he had 4 belts and he was champion 4 different divisions at once. So he was bouncing around. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would like to see that 60 if they do it.
Makes sense. Makes sense. Last question. How do you feel about Turki Al-Sheikh in boxing?
I think he's great for sport.
Okay.
Beautiful. Breath of fresh air. Paying people great money that they deserve. And he a true fan of the sport, and he's making the fights everybody want to see. He putting the cards together everybody want to see. He putting 4 cards basically in one. It could be 4 main event fighters on one card. Like, that's beautiful. It's like you playing a video game at home. You just matching guys up, and I love it. I love it. Love what they're doing for the sport. I love how invested they is into the sport, and outside the ring, inside. You know what I mean? I think he's beautiful for the sport.
That's interesting. Like I said, I wanted to ask you that from a fighter's perspective, because the fans, most of us, including myself, I think he's a godsend. And he's a boxing fan that puts on boxing cards that he would want to see as a fan. Right. So I think that's fair, right?
I feel like you play like a video game or something.
Yeah. And of course, I want what's best for the boxers financially. But a lot of people crap on him. I don't know why.
Outside of he's working with all the promoters. Ain't like he's like excluding this person or that person, so you can't. It's like, why he making these guys come under one umbrella where they ain't talking about across this side of the street, that side of the street, because he's paying y'all right, and we're doing with all promoters. He's doing 5 versus 5 with, you know what I mean, this promoter and it. Like, why? Who wouldn't want to see this stuff? He doing, man. He working with the fighters, some of them directly now, like how he working with Terence directly. Man, that dude is amazing for the sport. I don't see how anybody can have a problem with him. Outside of if he was a promoter that he wasn't working with, then yeah. But he opened the doors to everybody. Got Golden Boy on this on Riyadh, top ranked on Riyadh, Queensberry, Matchroom. He got all the top promoters on there. So I can't see why anybody have a problem with him in the sport.
I agree. And not to mention that he's putting together fabulous pay-per-view cards for like 26, 27 bucks.
Everything he doing is like you can't have a problem with. He's taking the pay-per-views when you only got one top fighter on there for $75, $100 to ones with all these fights on there for $21.
Look at this one on the screen. This was February 22nd.
Right, exactly. That's 3. I'm looking right now, and that's 4 different main events right there.
It's insane.
Like, even the 154 title fight, that could be on that would have been a Showtime like main event or something, you know. But yeah, you got the Shakur, you got the Daniel Dubois. Like, man, these are great fights.
No, absolutely.
Fire.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely. We gotta get you on one of these cards. That'd be dope.
Definitely, man.
We got to get you on one of these cards. But we got a 2025 year. 2025 is going to be a big year. I know it for you, man. Nothing but big things. Every time I have you here, I love having you. You know the deal, man. Let my viewers know where they can find you on social media, The Future Champ.
Right there on my name, Albert Prince Bill, Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, Albert Bill 419. But yeah, that's where you get me. I'm on there, man. Keep watching and supporting. 2025 gonna be big, man.
Absolutely. You know, you always got my support, and you know the deal. You know, when you come to the Hangout Spot, you family.
Most definitely.
You are always welcome back. I want to have you back, hopefully, again when you announce your fight. Hopefully, and
Yes.
maybe we could talk a little bit about that. And another thing too is I love chatting boxing with you because you're smart.
Yeah.
So hopefully we can get you on for some future shows for either breakdowns or recaps, man.
Most definitely, man. Sounds good. I'm with it.
All right, well, I kept you long enough, so I'm gonna let you go. But like I said, you know how we do it up here.
Yes, sir.
All right, man.
All right, take care.
You got it, man. And there you have it. That is super featherweight, undefeated super featherweight title contender, Albert Prince Bell. He's my guy, man. And he's a special fighter with a lot of skills. He's a tall guy, at 6 feet tall at that division is kind of like a unicorn. But hopefully, like I said, he's hopefully able to secure the big fights in 2025. We need to get him a title shot. He was the number one contender for that WBO strap for like a year. You know what I'm saying? And and he's still, it's the business of boxing. True hardcore fans know the deal when it comes to the business of boxing. And you just gotta, it's adversity. Boxers face adversity in the ring and outside the ring. Believe it or not, now that I've been heavily involved in boxing, and I'm talking to fighters, trainers, promoters, it's an ugly world behind the scenes. You know what I'm saying? But it's a fascinating world what these guys go through. It's not just, hey, listen, I want to fight this guy, I want to fight that guy, make a phone call, make it happen. I mean, there's just so many different nuances, that that these guys deal with. But yeah, Superwoman, my sister, great interview. I appreciate that. We putting in that work. Manuel LG was popping. Good interview. I appreciate that. Thank you for rocking out. This is how we're going to do it up, man. Every Tuesdays and Thursdays, 9 p.m. Today, since we were recapping the fights for the weekend, we had an extra show on Monday night. And there's going to be times where we do have 3 shows a week, maybe even 4. Who knows? So definitely come and rock out, spread the word. This is how we're going to do it up here at the Hangout Spot. Every week, we're trying to have fighters, trainers, anybody involved in the boxing community to come on so that we can, so they can visit, they can give their take, interviews. I mean, this is how we're going to do it up. Treese is going to, I hope so. I think so, man. I was hoping that Treese would be on this live so he can chime in. I don't know if he knew about it, but definitely spread the word out. After this is after we stop the live, we'll have it up on the Hangout Spot on my YouTube channel so they can check out the recording. Again, if you have not hit that like button, make sure you smash that and help out with the visibility of the channel. Subscribe and tell a friend to tell a friend. We got to continue to grow. 2025 is going to be a big year for us, like Albert Bell. 2024, we made our mark, at the Hangout Spot. 2025, we're looking to take this to the next level, and I'm putting in that work in the field with live fight cards, working media, doing live interviews, but we're going to put the work in here too. This is where it all started. So we're not going to forget this, I'm really, really digging these lives, but that was a great interview. Again, we will have him back. We will have Albert Bell back once he's able to secure a fight, but hopefully, like I said, he can get that title shot in 2025 and become a world champion like Richardson Hitchens did this past weekend. But tomorrow, as of right now, I'm looking hopefully to secure an interview with Claudia Trejos, who is a boxing journalist and ringside and play-by-play commentator. You can see her on the Zone, Riyadh fight season. She does PBC cards. I mean, she's everywhere. She was on the Boxing Voice about a month and a half ago. Great, energetic, talented. I mean, she's the star, in the sport of boxing, and she's a female. And I'm trying to get her on tomorrow. Hopefully, I'll be able to get her on tomorrow at 9:00. I'll have some confirmation tomorrow. But usually, what I do, and if you're not following me on IG, make sure you follow me on IG at the Hangout Spot, _Hangout_spot, the Hangout Spot on IG, because that's where I put in my stories. Future shows, future guests, recaps, links, to interviews that I do, links to live shows now, fight coverage, where I'll do shorts, of fighters backstage. I'll usually put those on IG. So make sure you also follow me on IG as well for updates. But if you're subscribed, hit that notification button. That way you will be alerted anytime we rock out here at the Hangout Spot and we do something live. Like I said, right now, Tuesdays and Thursdays is what we're looking at, but we may add an extra show. Because there's a lot going on in the world of boxing. And then Thursday, we were supposed to interview light heavyweight. We were supposed to interview light heavyweight contender Anthony Sims Jr., Black Sugar Sims, the Magician, the man with many nicknames. He's also the cousin of Floyd Mayweather Jr. We were supposed to get him on the show last Thursday, but we got our times mixed up, and he was into something else, so he could not join the show. I went solo, but I got in contact with his wife, who's also his manager, and we set it up. So Thursday, 9 p.m., make sure you come and check us out here at the Hangout Spot, because I'm going to be interviewing Anthony Sims Jr. He is 23-2 with 20 knockouts, and he will be here live and direct. I got some really good questions lined up for him on Thursday, so make sure you check us out. But anyway, man, another great show, and I thank everybody for rocking out with me. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Make sure you tune in Thursday, and this is how we do it up here at the Hangout Spot. But anyway, as always, I appreciate the love. I appreciate the support. This is your boy Johnny signing out from the Hangout Spot Live, and I'll talk to everybody soon.